for you for not redacting information,
Absolutely, anybody can sue me.
whether you redact it or not.
If they feel I make a mistake, they have the right to sue me, absolutely.
Mr. Schwab, is the district responsible for information that the right to know officer has deemed able to be released to an individual requester?
Sure.
Do you need 5 or you just know that?
No,
4 is
I
fine?
know the other four is saying yes, so I'll say yes.
So you'll add to that,
I'll
okay,
say
just
to the
checking,
council. How's that?
just wondering.
The way you framed it, Mr. Bradley, this is again where you only give half the information. Okay? Under the Open Records Act, the district can't be sued. Under privacy laws for students, we can be sued. Under FERPA, we can be sued. Under the Labor Act of the Commonwealth of Pennsylvania, we release information concerning our employees, we can be sued. So when you say we can't be sued, we have no liability of open records, you're right. But we have 6 or 7 other acts that we can be sued on for having done it legally under open records.
Including if you search a kid or touch a kid or do things that are also not responsible under the law, you can be culpable and responsible as a district for those such
So
things.
that's again, Mr. Bradley, you're giving the half information. The Supreme Court of Pennsylvania decided what strip search was, and that's what you're alluding to. Telling someone to take off their bandana is not considered by the Supreme Court of Pennsylvania to be a strip search, and is a normal, everyday, legal search that can be conducted by the administration. That's again, you're talking half information.
Well, same with shoes and roll down your belts and lift up your
Oh,
shirts.
sure, that can be
That's
done,
all
yeah.
That's all considered as not part of the strip search
That's right.
process. And it can be done by a principal and a vice principal
Yes.
of same sex or opposite sex of
Doesn't
individual.
matter, it's not a strip search like you try to allude it to.
And-
A strip search by the Supreme Court is truly what we all envision when somebody goes into a prison, what the strip search is. It's been done, for example, in this county, to my knowledge, once by a police department in the last 5 years.
And
It
can,
doesn't happen like you were trying to allude it. And because someone removes a bandana or pulls up their pant leg, that's not a strip search. That's a normal, ordinary search. And that's perfectly legal by the Supreme Court of the United States and the Pennsylvania Supreme Court. But I'm off topic.
I'm sorry. Yes, it is all done.
I'd like to make a few comments. I mean, my first comment is the Office of Open Records is recommending that we fill this right to know, right?
No, they have said in their plain language to release all 7,700 records as they are. They don't have what Mr. Bradley suggested in his letter, that he has a confidentiality and he'll review them all. Well, first of all, that doesn't protect us from the other laws. Labor law doesn't protect us from FERPA, doesn't protect us from the other laws where our
I'm
liability is.
just verifying that the Office of Open Records is
Said.
saying that
Yes.
we should release the
And
information.
it was probably the most, I'm going to say, bizarre decision. Because most of the time, they put in a one-liner in there that say, subject to redaction.
Right.
They didn't here.
So my next question is all of us board members at times may be exposed to confidential information, right? Like if we're in executive session, we need to be talking about personnel or students. And, we're all bound to keep that information confidential.
Right.
So, does that not apply to Dave Bradley if he were to receive?
Not under FERPA, he's not one of the designated individuals.
Correct, I don't discuss medical information.
You know, the board member is supervisory over the superintendent, sets policy, but when we're getting back to micromanaging, you don't have a right to see someone's student records, you don't have a right to see principal's personnel file and see any write-ups unless it comes to you as part of a discipline procedure. It's confidential. The board doesn't get that.
Sure, I'm just asking questions, and the final one is if we took this as an appeal to, you would take it to Bergen County, is that what you're
Yes.
suggesting? what is that going to cost the district?
I would estimate that it would be less money than providing and redacting 7,700 emails, even if it only takes 5 minutes for each one for Melanie to go over them and look at them and say, hey, I don't know if I need this or not. That's 642 hours. You know, you're talking essentially for her, what is that, 20 weeks? Her salary is going to be more than $7,000. You know, but that's part of it. Part of specificity is the computer department. We don't have our own email server. We have to rely on the intermediate unit. We can have a search for keywords, but we don't have specificity. If we ask for all 7,700, we get all 7,700. And I understand our IT department, Mr. Bradley, doesn't have the ability to do it electronically. So they have to print it to do it.
The software is free, by the way, through the
I'm
state.
just telling you what our IT department is. You can talk to Marcus and maybe educate him as well.
Did nobody check this at all, of whether or not it exists, this electronic redaction? Never?
That's
Hold,
not my
I'm gonna
job.
ask a question. Did anyone in this boardroom or anyone else in this district over the last, let's say, 20 years of electronics, look into electronic redaction so that we're not held by fear of a solicitor that needs to redact everything that gets printed and put out for 600 hours to make sure that this information is not released?
That's not my hours, that's Melanie's hours. You're gonna close the business office down with her working for 642 hours.
And again, I don't trust the electronic program that we could purchase to redact information. It may be free, but again, what type of free are you getting that it's going to be trustworthy to redact something?
Did you talk to the PSBA at all about this issue?
No.
Did you talk to any other attorneys other than Mr. Schwab?
Did I talk to any,
Did we get any other advice other than this attorney as a district?
personally, I did not ask that for anybody's.
Mr. Stern, did we get a second opinion?
Because we didn't have this issue prior to the last 6 or 8 months.
So did we get a second opinion on this issue? No second opinion was done on this issue?
Well, you keep.
Hold on a second. Are you gonna say on the record that no second opinion
Don't
was?
put words into my mouth. What I'm going to say, it's not the process, it's not printing the paper, it's the content of the information that has to be reviewed.
Not according to the Office of Open Records.
But Office of Open Records, according to Mr. Schwab, is not liable for anything that happens if it's released.
So I asked, did we as a district get a second opinion on this matter?
I asked for a second opinion.
Who authorized you to ask that second opinion?
When you hired me under my retention agreement, you hired, if you recall, King Spry as my support counsel. When I want a second opinion, I go right to them and say, give me an opinion, and they gave me one.
And what did that cost the district?
I don't believe it's been ever billed to the district. They do many of that as a courtesy because they do our special ed.
So no expenditure was authorized by you, so you asked them for a freebie?
That's what lawyers do frequently, yes.
Okay, but you asked them for free, so we will not be seeing a bill?
I didn't ask them, I just asked.
Well, we might be seeing a bill.
I don't know if you're gonna see a bill. They don't bill me directly, they bill the district.
Okay, Mr. Fike, will we see a bill for any time that Mr. Schwab calls King Spry and asks for a second opinion?
I haven't yet. I know he's had other things he's checked with them before. I haven't seen a bill from them with those. The only thing they bill is for special ed.
Okay, excellent.
Now I shouldn't say that, because insurance company did hire them on the lawsuit. We'll probably get that deductible bill sometime down the road.
But that was done through the insurance company. We didn't hire them. We as a board only hire one experienced solicitor to do a job. And if he doesn't have the experience and needs a second opinion, or the board feels that his advice doesn't make sound sense and we wish to have a second opinion, we as a board have the rights to go ask for a second opinion at any time. I just wanted to know if our board asked for a second opinion after we saw this Office of Open Records say, release the documents, and then we have a second solicitor saying, pay thousands and thousands of dollars to redact things prior to releasing a record?
Any further comments?
I have one more question that I have recalled.
Wait, answer my question. If we didn't do it, we didn't ask this second opinion, correct? No one on this board asked for a second opinion? We're taking this guy's word for it.
No, actually, the recommendation is coming from myself, Mr. Bradley.
The recommendation from what?
For us to take this appeal is actually coming, I'm making a recommendation.
You're making the recommendation.
Right.
Okay, did you get a second opinion other than from our solicitor?
No. I did not.
Okay, may I ask one more question? Recently, Bill, I don't know if you saw, but I think that the city of Reading was found to be in some kind of trouble for not answering a right to know, and a judge ordered them to pay a fine. Do you think that, I mean, you probably know more about the case than I do. I think maybe a union brought the lawsuit or something like that?
Well, that's part of, let's suppose we put these out and didn't redact them. The PSBA could sue us for that. PSEA.
Mm.
And they would, as a right, could be awarded attorney's fees under labor law.
But in the Reading case...
It was under the open records. They wanted certain information as part of the bargaining that we normally are also required to give under our Pennsylvania labor law.
Right, and it was withheld in that case?
Yes.
The information was withheld?
They had asked for certain statistic information. When you go into collective bargaining, the union will ask for how many sick days do we have, how many people are accruing, who's on this step, who's on that,
Right.
things of that nature.
I mean, if we
You could tell the labor union to pound sand, so they go around the circle and ask for open records. Reading didn't give them anything they were supposed to,
Right.
under any law. They just,
Okay.
and here, if they said, give them the 77 subject to redaction, I may have had a different recommendation, but that wasn't their decision.
Are you suggesting that in these emails is negotiations on contracts?
No, I didn't say that,